Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Mini Books Podcast with your host, Gloria and Rogan. And today we are excited to dive into Special Book with You. We picked this one because it has really important lessons to share, and we can't wait to talk about them. So let's get started.
All right, ready to dive into some serious wisdom? We're going deep with Jordan Peterson today, exploring 12 rules for life.
12 rules. Always a good one. Lots to unpack there.
Absolutely. And don't worry, we're not tackling the whole thing, just those key excerpts you guys flagged, the ones that really hit home for your own self-improvement journeys.
Yeah, gotta cut to the chase, right? What can we actually use?
Exactly. We're on a mission to unearth those golden nuggets. And Peterson, he doesn't hold back. Right from the start, it's suggestions versus commandments. Like, bam, makes you think, do we need rules to thrive? Or are they holding us back?
It's a question for the ages, isn't it? And he goes deep, ties it back to that whole golden calf thing.
Oh, right. The idea that without structure,
We become slaves to our passions. Instant gratification, no higher aim.
it's like that story Peterson tells about his Polish friends, the ones with the wild parties.
Oh yeah, anything goes, conversationally speaking. No filter.
Exactly. But the key was they had that one rule, complete honesty.
Had to have some boundary, and that resonated with Peterson, that open exchange. But it could only happen within that structure.
It's like you need the container to actually create freedom within it.
A paradox, but it's how it works.
Totally. Reminds me of that whole idea we need to voluntarily bear a load to find meaning. It's a direct Peterson quote, by the way.
Heavy stuff, but without that burden, that commitment.
We're susceptible to those golden calf distractions. Right?
Exactly. Aim low, stay low.
You know, I have to admit, when I first heard Peterson using lobsters to explain human behavior, I was skeptical.
The lobster thing, yeah, it's a trip.
But it gets so interesting. He connects their social hierarchy. Lobsters have social hierarchies. Who knew? To our brain chemistry. Serotonin, specifically.
Not just happiness, though. People get that wrong.
It's deeper than that.
Way deeper. Serotonin is about how we handle challenges, confidence, stress response. Even lifespan is tied in.
Whoa, okay, so those low-ranking lobsters, low serotonin.
More vulnerable, more reactive to stress. It's all connected.
It's like they're living with this constant weight on their shoulders.
Exactly. And that brings us to Peterson's thing about posture. Stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Right. It's not just some old-school etiquette thing.
It's about signaling our brains, the world even, hey, I'm not giving up.
So we're priming ourselves for success with good posture.
Fake it till you make it, as they say.
But then he throws us this curveball, right? About choosing friends wisely. And it got me thinking about those early days, you know. Peterson talks about growing up in Fairview, finding his crew. He mentions these guys, Chris and Ed, always getting into some kind of mischief. Makes you wonder, how often do we fall into these patterns in our relationship?
Oh, all the time, even when they're not good for us.
Exactly. And Peterson's point is we repeat those patterns because, well, maybe deep down, we don't think we deserve better.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Or we get stuck in that rescuer role, you know, trying to fix everyone.
Right, like we can save them from themselves.
He even brings up Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground to illustrate this.
Oh man, that character. So sure he's helping, but just making things worse. Ever feel that pull yourself to fix someone, even when they don't want it?
It's tough to resist.
It is. But as Peterson says, sometimes the kindest thing is to step back.
Let them make their own choices, even if it hurts to watch.
Exactly.
And that idea of honesty keeps coming up, being true to ourselves and others.
It's central to his whole philosophy, I think.
And it's not about being brutally honest, right?
No, it's about aligning our actions with our words.
Walking the walk.
Exactly. That's where self-improvement starts. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge.
Right. Like he says, you can't fix a problem until you can state it accurately.
Yeah.
Another direct quote for you.
He's got a lot of them. But it's true. Honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, that's where trust and growth come from.
It's like what he says about chaos and order. We're all just trying to make sense of the world, right? And he uses that analogy of the computer leaf.
Oh, I love that one.
We only see a tiny fraction of what's really going on. It's like until we really bring things to light, you know, those shadows can hold us back.
Oh, for sure. Lurking in the background.
Exactly. And Peterson's big on language,
Yeah.
right? Being precise with our words.
Huge. Because it helps us make sense of things.
It's like until we articulate something, it's this big, murky mess.
Full of potential horrors, as he'd say.
Right. So by naming it, defining it.
We kind of impose order on the chaos.
And that's where change can actually happen.
Exactly. Can't fix what you can't name.
Man, so much good stuff here. We've covered the power of rules, picking your people, that whole honesty thing.
The core of it, I think.
And Peterson leaves us with this big question, right? What shall I do tomorrow, and I'm paraphrasing here, to bring about the most good possible?
Heavy stuff, right? Makes you think long term.
Not about these big splashy actions, but it's like that story he tells about those kids skateboarding in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. Seemed harmless.
But it ended up having all these consequences they didn't expect.
Ripple effect, man.
Exactly. Our choices matter, even the small ones.
They really do.
So what about you? What's resonating with you most from all this?
That's the question, right? What little step can we take today, tomorrow, that's inspired by this, bring some more order to our lives, to the world even?
It's a journey, right? Self-improvement.
Always is. Never ending.
This was great. Thanks for geeking out on Peterson with me.
Anytime. Always up for a good deep dive.
For sure. And everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into 12 rules for life. Until next time, keep those minds open, keep asking those tough questions, and remember, even the smallest actions can create big change.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to dive into more book insights and key learnings, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mini Books Podcast, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We're back every Sunday at 9 a.m. with new books and more to learn from. Until next time, take care, keep learning, and keep growing. Remember, this is Mini Books Podcast.